I want to congratulate all of our members, those of us who's in this room tonight, and those that is not here. When I started out in the union, and I never thought we would ever live to own a building. Brothers and sisters, you own your building. Your building is being paid off for. And I'm going to use myself a little bit before I get into some detail. I brought my paycheck. The 1969, my whole year income was $2,725.10 for the whole year when I filed my tax. And I do that because I know each and every one of you just about have a story about where you started in this union. And without the union, there's St. Mary's Home delegates here tonight, where I started, who have 40-odd years. And those days, that's what we take home. But we then met something that it was bigger than all of us. It's called union. And it means that when we get together, we unite ourselves and start to build a union in this state. And as a result of it, we climb to over 22,000 members between Rhode Island and Connecticut. And now in the remedy economy, as David reported, we see now we have enclosure. We just lost 350 of our ranking file members. We then losing a lot of members because in the two last budget fight in 2009 with the state, and now this year again, we have a huge amount of job. Just now, the end of last month, we lost another 370 members in the state sector to retirement. And we also have our regular members in the private sector who's in the pension fund retiring every month. So we are losing members. So, my dear sisters and brothers, the journey had been a long one, but a wonderful one. And I want to start out by thanking you for the journey you traveled with me, and for the fact that you gave me all the will and the power to make a difference in your fellow sisters and brothers' life that is not here. This union got it right from the start. It's all about us. We are not a corporation. We only get money from each other. And so we pool our money and we fight like hell, and we are successful in many ways. I just want to say that there's a lot of struggle. This union came to this state and Rhode Island for about 45 years now since we are in existence. And that the honor and the privilege that I was able to come through the ranks and be able to have 4 decades working with you and fighting to make change. We also, through this struggle, organizing nursing home, which was great. One of my honor is when they fire me for standing up for workers' rights. And the next one, I was proud to be arrested. And I was proud to stay overnight in jail or whatever time they kept us. And Kevin Doyle and Larry Fox is in the back. We all went to jail together to build this union. So thank you, brothers and sisters in the back. It's a long journey with all of us. But I want to highlight, let's get to where there's a long story, but I won't spend the time doing it. But let's talk about what we did in this team, and all of you that been with us since I took office of being your president. We, since then, organized about 1,474 workers in about 43 chapters. We then move on in this year to organize another 300 members, the latest organized. Is there anybody here from the May Institute? The May Institute, is there any members in the room? Okay, we just got 300 members, which now we got to afford to get a contract for. We trained hundreds and hundreds of delegates. For those of you who went to the last leadership conference that we have in Stowbridge for the training, we did some great training. So we have a lot of great leaders in this room who can lead any fights. We also have done a lot of work with politics. We did our fair share in this state. We did our fair share. How many of you had been to Pennsylvania and New Hampshire when we were electing the President Obama in the United States? Here you are. So we did that too. And then we turn around here. And how many of you was involved? And I know some of you, when you talk to me, you said, why did you ask me to work on Malloy's campaign? Because sisters and brothers, that was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do. And so, after 24 years, we elect a Democratic governor. Now, is he doing everything we like? Absolutely not. On the other hand, we wouldn't be in this room tonight if we had the other guy. Also in Rhode Island, when our members work to elect the candidates in Rhode Island, those are hard work, but we do make a difference. And we do have to stay involved in politics. Some of our members doesn't believe it has anything to do with you. I don't want to do politics. It has something to do with it. The disaster we just have, it has a lot to do with it. We didn't have current. Those workers that they lay off and didn't have enough of them to do the job, we suffer with it. So he's not perfect, and now we have an opportunity to hold this governor feet to the fire and to continue to challenge him and fight, because that's what we do best. We don't wait on anybody to tell us what to do. We in this union know what we have to do and what we must do. And so we have these fights. We got through that. We also, in politics, is Delphina in the room? Delphina? Oh, she's not here. In New Haven, Delphina Coburg, that a lot of members know from this public sector, state sector, working DDS, just got elected as an alderman in New Haven. We also have in Rhode Island, Dave Bennett, also a member of ours in Rhode Island. Dave Bennett at Butler Hospital was elected in as state representative. We had an election last night in that we endorsed. Tim O'Brien, the mayor in New Britain, got elected last night. We work on so many campaigns over the years. We work on Joe Courtney. Those are the folks that is in the House of Representatives. We work on those of us who work so hard to get Dick Blumenthal, our former Attorney General, elected. He's in Washington. We got Sheldon Whitehouse in Rhode Island, with our members in Rhode Island working so hard to elect a senator. He's there. We have, we'll talk about that. And then we also, as I say, work so hard to get a new President of the United States. And so we're going to have to do it again, sisters and brothers. I know it's not that easy. And I know politics is hard to talk about, but we are here to lead our members, because if we don't, nobody's going to do it for us. And so we pass mandatory overtime in Rhode Island for members in the hospital. We got that done. We fought here to prevent nursing home from being closed. We make sure that we were able to keep Greater Health Center of Waterbury open, Putnam Nursing Home, Cortland Gardening Stanford, Simmet House. Those are all fights that we have for closure. But because our members stood up, fight back, push back, we were able to save those homes, and our members were able to keep their job. We work at the Capitol so many nights in. Paul Filson is here also from the State Council. We are a lot of unions are part of the State Council. And we fought and were able to allow folks that did never have sick day to be able to get some sick day. We were instrumental in that fight, in making sure other folks come along while we go forward. We also have David talked about the Strike and Defense Fund. We were part of SCIU across the country, which was born out of this local here many years ago, where when we joined the International Union, we had said that we would like it to be bigger and broader. So we had create and get some money and create where the International Union were supposed to help us to build this large strike and defense fund in order to defend our members across in the country. And so we had it and it didn't grow. That's for, and as he said, it was our money every month, like how we take out 10% for 10% goes to strike and defense fund. So it boils down to till there was about only 4 unions left. And I said to myself, and I had a conversation with David, and I said, David, I think this is one of the things we need to do. We need to start having a conversation about how we bring back that money into our district. And so it took us a good year and a half, talking about it and fighting about it, and he gave the report. And we were able to close out that account. There were money that goes to us, Pennsylvania. It was, yes, $11.99 here, Pennsylvania, Seattle, where else? Las Vegas. Yeah, 4 of us, Las Vegas. And we were able to split up that money based on what we have and bring it back home. And sisters and brothers, there's fight ahead of us. You're going to need that money. So it's good that the money is here to defend the fights that we have in front of us, because that's the reason. Whether it's in the public sector or the private sector, that's what that money is for, it's called strike and defense for a very good reason. So whatever fight we have to put on, that's what that money is about. So that was one great thing we accomplished for Connecticut and Rhode Island. We also have, as you know, one of the longest strike, and I never thought it would ever end, which was in our history, which was Avery Church Home, and Avery Church Home delegates are here, that for 2.5 years on that picket line, and fighting through the legal system, we were able to, at least, and at last, and for the moment, our members were able to get the final check this year. This year. This is about 11 years worth of strike. Because last year when the money, and it was $2.5 million that we won to the National Relations Board, and last year when they made the big payout, But as always, the National Relations Board says we'll have to keep some money, that if somebody came forward in the next 6 months, we got to pay out some money. So this year, the beginning of this year, the National Relations Board finally paid out the last payment to those members that they fought and get. So that we were able to accomplish. And then, of course, as we take on one of the biggest fights in Rhode Island and Connecticut this year, where we, in the worst economy, where we have all the contract expire. And then we end up, again, with the second longest strike in my time here in the union, another 13 months with Spectrum. And there are some Spectrum workers here. They will talk about how much it costs us. And we were able to beat back that boss because those members take strike goes 3 times before they actually 3 times. They did everything to try to get a contract without going out on the street. But I have to say tonight how proud myself and the officers are of those members. For a long time, if you were around about in the 70s, I thought that last year's snowstorm came back, and our members lost only 3 days. In that, only 3 days. They weren't on that picket line. That picket line didn't run. So my sisters and brothers in here for those places, congratulations again for the great job that you have done to show us that we can move forward. And there's so many other things, but I'm going to cut it short because I know everybody wants to eat, that we had thought. We have fights in the public sector, trying to prioritize our jobs. And every day we have some things that now, even though we gave our fair share in the public sector, and with CBAC and the other unions, and again, a lot of members that vote against it, they have a right to. However, that what was facing us, that was the right thing to do. And it took us, as you thought and have challenged. Sometimes our members challenge us too. And that's okay. Both times our members vote for it, but we were in a coalition that the bylaws govern how we do. And we lost 2 other unions that were not didn't get it passed, and so then we had to go back out. And I want the delegates from the public sector that is in this room, please stand. Please stand. Delegates that is in this room from the public sector, please stand. I'm telling you, these delegates did a tremendous amount of work to be able to educate our members, to be able to take on the fierce fight about what it means and why they were voting and why it was in our best interest. It was quite a challenge. But thank you so much for the work that you do, because you didn't run away from the fight. Thank you. And then I'm going to go into the future, but one last thing. And when I said it earlier, when we elect Governor Malloy, it was the right thing. About a month and a half ago, Rob, when we got about a month and a half. The home care order. Yeah, about a month and a half. We were in the battle in the legislature trying to get a bill passed so for the future we can go and organize home care and child care workers. And we did not accomplish the bill the way we wanted. However, last month, Governor Malloy signed an executive order to give us the opportunity to organize at least 4,000 home care workers in this state. 4,000 workers in front of us with the opportunity to go out and do that. So, that said, we have a lot of work in front of us to go and organize. And sisters and brothers, you elect a leadership here are the officers, the executive board, and yourself as delegate, for us to now take a deep breath and breathe out and know that the challenge ahead of us is in our hand. It's up for us to continue to make change. As Fred Douglass says, the struggle never ends. It's only evolve. Go forward. Here are some of the challenges we faced. We talk about organizing workers, but there's still so many members, so many workers is desperate to have the opportunity that we have. They don't have a union. And when I started about where I started, without a union, none of us could be in this room. None of us could not be where we are because of the Unify, Unite front that we have to beat back our bosses. And we're reliving it all over again in this country, not just in Connecticut and Rhode Island, but all now because the Republicans, and some of our members maybe in this room is Republican, and that's fine too, and the Democrat. But there's no longer where folks think that working people should have anything. If you have pension, they come in for it. If you have health insurance, they come in for it. If you have shift differential, they come in for it. If you have every other weekend, they come in for it. So sisters and brothers, our work cut out for us in the future. It faces us and we're gonna move forward. We have in this district, we had long time ago, we had a mission, a vision of where we want to lead the members. And as we have folks like myself who is retiring after 44 years, and all the other members that I talked about, you cannot have an organization that is not growing. And as much as we did such a fantastic job, which is great that we have over 1,000 people we organize, and that goes to Rob and his team, Rob Burrell, who is the director of new organizing. Great job. Please stand, Rob, so everybody please stand up. Great job. But we still have an unfriendly atmosphere among us. It's very unfair, and it's coming after us, and it's workers' fault. And if you listen to the Tea Parties and everybody else and the Republican, oh my God, why did workers exist? But sisters and brothers, our members in Ohio last night showed the world, showed this country, that you can't just play with us, that we can turn things around. And for that, there's hope. And I hope each and every one of us look at that when we have the challenge in front of us and just say to each other, if you are with me, we can do it. If you are with me, we can get it done. If you are with me, there's nothing impossible. If you are with me, we can nobody can stop us. And nobody will ever turn us around in this union, District 1199, SEIU, in Connecticut, Rhode Island. Sisters and brothers, we can do it. We should do it. It's our time. Let's move forward. Our future is ours. We can have it. We can take it. Thank you, sisters and brothers.